Yo, what's good people? I welcome all of you back one more time to a brand new podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 Cents. As always, I'm your man, Yosef X, and tonight I raise a very important question. My question to you, as well as to myself, is black love dead? For a long time, there has been a deep divide, a deep dissension between the black man and the black woman, the melanated man and the melanated woman. Divorce is on the rise, and the deep wedge and the deep division continues to grow progressively worse. So it raises a concern, and I raise the question once again: is black love dead? Let us do what we always do, and that's sit down and reason together like intelligent grown men and grown women. Don't go anywhere. Yosef's 2 Cents will get started in just a few moments. All right, y'all. I do apologize for the long delay. I hope everything is going well with you and your family on this very nippy October Sunday evening. And I want to thank all of you for making Yosef's 2 cents a part of your Sunday evening routine. We are multi-streaming on both Facebook and YouTube. And I want to give a special shout out to all of you for your participation and your observations. I want to give a special shout out to all of our new subscribers on the YouTube channel, the Yosef Isaiah Benjamin Network. And I also want to give a special shout out and a special thanks, not only to all of you beautiful people, but also to the one and the only Miss Marla Johnson, who is the lady of my life, for putting in the labor to make the flyers. So all of you who are interested in what I have to say and what I also try to do, you can stay informed and you can stay up to par and up to speed with everything that is going on. So I want to thank Miss Marla Johnson again for all that she does. And I know we got a faithful few in here. Let me get to your observations right quick and greet all of you on the YouTube side. We got Brother Sam in the house. Good evening to you, sir. Thanks for joining the fray. Sister G, Sister Giselle. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining the fray as well. Nadia, what's good? Good to have you to join us tonight. Thanks for joining the fray. There she is, the one and the only Miss Marla. Good evening to you too, my dear. Thank you for joining us. Brother Barron, what's going on? I see you hijacked Nadia's page. Normally it's the other way around. But thanks for joining the fray as well. Let's see who else. You just joined us. I want to say about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I want to say maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I want to say, I don't know, but nevertheless, thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Yeah, that is awesome. She's awesome. Certainly. And once again, thank you so much for joining the fray, and thank you again, my love, for joining and all that you do. All right. Brother Barron says it wouldn't allow him to log into my podcast. Well, you know what? Facebook knows I be spitting a lot of facts and a lot of truth. And I'm at the point now where Fedbook is going to be Fedbook. You know what I'm saying? And in addition to Fedbook going to be Fedbook, I also have come to realize that there's just not a lot of people that really is interested in becoming the best version of themselves for themselves. And they're not interested in what I have to say. And this is a very esoteric podcast, you know. And then there are certain things that I just won't do. There are certain lines I refuse to cross. Like a lot of these YouTube podcasters, a lot of them are scammers, period. They are preying off of the ignorance and the stupidity of the masses of people. They do ish for likes, subscriptions, and to gyp people out of their money. That's another thing. And then Fedbook will deliberately and has deliberately shadow banned me from saying the things that I need to say, even if I make the disclaimer that I don't own any of the copyrights to any songs, or I don't own any intellectual properties of other people. I'm not one that plagiarizes. I don't plagiarize anybody. Most times when I come on the air, it comes from here and here. Off rip, off the cuff, straight, no chaser. And I'm going to continue to be just like that. And a lot of these YouTube beefs, a lot of these YouTube issues and problems, it's scripted. You know what I'm saying? It's kayfabe. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. And in addition to that, I'm not one that is going to, bow down, bow the knee, take the knee. I'm just not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately, I have no control over any one of these platforms because I don't own them. And as you can see, they're screwing around also with the Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? So when they're screwing around with the Wi-Fi, this is how it is. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is with me. I've come to the realization either people are going to take it or they're going to leave it alone. Either people, are going to wise up to what's going on, or they're going to remain stupid and they're going to remain in their own folly. And besides, everybody is not in my tribe. Everybody is not for me. And likewise, I'm not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. I wish things were different. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I wish things were totally different. But unfortunately, they're not. So I'm just simply not going to even worry about it. I'm not going to stress over it anymore. I'm going to give out the information, and it's going to be up to you, whoever is listening, or whoever Fedbook allows me to listen to, as well as YouTube, because they're owned and operated by the same oligarchy. So it is what it is. I've made my stance. I made my choice a long time ago. Y'all excuse me just 1 second. Let me see. And they don't like the fact that I speak truth. They don't like the fact that even I challenge my own beliefs. They don't like the fact that I challenge what everybody else thinks and what everybody else believes. They don't like that. But, again, it is what it is. Let me do this right quick. Let me see if I can do something different. Let's try this. Let's try this instead. All right. And I didn't mean to start off this topic like that, but I had to address your observation when, Brother Barron, when you said it wouldn't allow you to log on to the podcast. I mean, this is not the first time that, people have told me that either it wouldn't allow them to log on to the podcast or they didn't receive a notification. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. So to them, later for you, because I'm going to keep on doing and I'm going to keep on saying what needs to be said. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's get started with tonight's dialogue. And I'm not going to be on long, so I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it short. And I'm going to keep it sweet. Now, again, I asked the question to all of you. Is Black love dead? Now, here's the reason why I asked the question, right, as to whether or not Black love is dead. And again, I don't have any notes. I'm going off the top of my head, off the cuff, off the rip, straight no chaser. The recent turn of events with Remy Ma and Papoose, everybody's still talking about it in the midst of all this scandal. I even put up on my timeline a video or a clip of a video of that battle rap between those two rappers exposing the affair, the alleged affair that Remy Ma and this rapper who goes by the name of E, or whatever the cat's name is, stage name is. And on top of that, in the last, I want to say at least the last maybe 50 or 60 plus years, possibly, interracial marriages and relationships has really become popular. And the narrative nowadays is that nobody is really pushing for Black love, meaning the Black man and the Black woman is at odds with each other. And it's for various reasons. You know what I'm saying? And because it's for various reasons, everything from they're pushing the narrative that is good and is honorable to be a single mother without a father in the home. Because back during the late 60s, entering into the decade of the 1970s, we began to see the rise of the single parent household. 2 years after Dr. King's assassination, which was 1968, here it is, 1970, is when we began to see the rise of the single parent household. We began to see the black father or the melanated father kicked out the house, and Big Daddy government became the new father to your children. That is when we began to see how the single black mother now began to rely heavily on Big Daddy government, not understanding that government funded programs was not supposed to be for people to live off of them, but it was supposed to be a stepping stone in the right direction so that you would not have to live off the government. See? And then on top of that, and see, here's the thing, and I don't mean to give a history lesson, but all of these factors into the question being raised, is Black love dead? Now, here's the thing, here's something else to consider, right? I raised the question on September 26th at 12:41 p.m. That's when I put up the status. My question was, after this, meaning the whole Remy Ma and Papoose scandal, do you think Black love is dead or not? What say you? And a lot of you have had a lot of feedback. And I don't have time to go through all of the comments. Because it's doggone near 70 some odd comments. But the majority of you who are followers of mine who did see the status, somebody, Brother Ahmad said, it's been dead since 1969. Brother Perez said, in America it is, not for the entire world. Brother Jesse said, yes, Black love is dead in the West. It still lives in Africa. Brother Robert replied, but bad news from across the pond is that Ratchetry is making inroads into the motherland. Things, it would appear, haven't quite gotten out of hand, but there is reason to be worried. See, let me tell you something. And you've also heard me tell y'all this once before. The reality is, a melanated man loves a melanated woman. He does not love a woman that's outside of his nationality. A melanated man wants to be with a woman that looks like himself. You understand me? A melanated man wants to be with a woman that looks like himself. A melanated man does not want to be with a woman that does not look like him. Just like all the rest of these nationalities, they want to be with a woman who looks like him. But the reason why this whole passport bros movement and the influence it's having continues to grow is really because men are going where they want to be valued and appreciated and loved and not tolerated. And see, black men, for the most part, have totally given up on the melanated woman. Because let's face it, the contemporary black woman at large ain't worth a damn. And it's for obvious reasons. Number one, they are not wife material at all. They choose to be baby mamas, side chicks, concubines at best. They choose to be the black sticky-ish underneath the bottom of the barrel. Now, if this offends you, maybe you need to go back and check yourself. Maybe you need to go and reevaluate your character as a woman. Because I know full well that not all melanated women are like this. Not all melanated women are like this. However, the melanated women that have not acted like a cheap woman of the night, you were silent. You were absolutely silent when all the rest of your counterparts was calling us collectively, of course, they were calling us broke. Y'all were calling us dusty. Y'all were calling us squares. You were using us for the resources that we have. And as soon as we caught on to the game you were playing, we got up and we walked away from you. Now, I'm going to go on a limb and say, is black love dead? It depends on the man. It depends on the woman. It depends on the individual and where they are. Now, the narrative that they are pushing, yeah, according to the mainstream narrative, black love is dead. You know why? Because the narrative is now they're pushing for interracial marriages and relationships. Now, mind you, interracial relationships and marriages has been going on for a long time, for as long as history itself, as long as this world has been in existence itself. However, on paper, interracial marriages and relationships wasn't even legal until 1967 in Virginia, the Commonwealth of the state of Virginia. You didn't think I knew that, did you? See, let me tell y'all something, man. Things that have been going on, things that we talk about, guess what? It's been going on for a long time. It just wasn't legalized and put on the paper. But it's been going on for a long time. It has. It's been going on for a long time. And interracial marriages and relationships has been the silent plague that has been destroying the relationship between the melanated man and the melanated woman. It has been the silent plague. It has been the pandemic, if you will, to destroy the melanated man and the melanated woman, the romantic relationship thereof. Not understanding that this has always been a game of chess and not checkers. Let me tell you something. Once upon a time on the TV, the only thing that you would see is a melanated man and a melanated woman. And they were pushing and celebrating and honoring what we call Black love. Now the contemporary narrative is interracial relationships. A Black man gets with a Black woman. I mean, a white woman, an Asian, Latinas. And see, please understand, I know why the Black man is doing it. I know why. Believe me, I understand why. I get it. Believe me, I get it. If anybody understands why it happens, it's me. I get it. But remember something now. Remember what the scripture teaches. And a lot of you are Christians. A lot of y'all are Hebrew Israelites. A lot of y'all are even Muslims. What does your books of scripture teach you? Your books of scripture teaches you against interracial marriages and relationships. You should not be with other nationalities. This ain't Yosef X saying this. This is Yosef X quoting Bible. Quoting not only Bible, but if I'm not mistaken, even it is taught in the Quran, which is the book of scripture for Muslims. Let me tell you something. On a large scale, I'm not going to say that Black love is completely dead, but it depends, once again, on the man. It depends on the woman. It depends on who you are and who you're dealing with. It's in the Torah, the Old Testament. It is. I believe it's in the book of Deuteronomy. And I believe the book of Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, no, 28th chapter, pardon me, one of the longest chapters in all of the Bible, not just the Old Testament, but it's also one of the longest, if not the longest chapter in all the Bible. It gives a history of what the Hebrew Israelites had to go through because of their disobedience. When they rebelled and when they revolted against the Most High. Now, again, I'm not saying this. I just serve as an echo. But the problem is niggas don't read. Niggas don't read. Niggas don't study. Niggas don't pay attention. Niggas go off of emotion. They're irrational. And they do and say things because it sounds good or it's a part of a fad. The most dangerous black man in the world is one who reads, is one who studies. And I'm going to say this too. Now, granted now, the passport bros and the MGTOWs, listen, they bring up a lot of valid points. I see why they boycott marriage and relationships. I get it. And all these mentally ill and mentally delusional ass females, they're giving them the ammunition to strengthen their case and to strengthen their argument. And when they find a man that's man enough and masculine enough to G-check them and put them in their place, instead of receiving the correction, guess what? They get mad. They get angry. Like a grown little girl. You know you got to be mentally ill if you don't want the biological father of the child or the children involved in their lives. You prefer a complete strange dude to take care of somebody else's child. You know you twisted in the head. You know for a fact you are effed up in the head. Now, I can't speak for the continent of Africa. I'm not going to. I don't live in Africa. I can only speak as to the events as to what's going on in the West. here in the Western Hemisphere. And to be honest, Black love is not completely dead, but it certainly is on life support. And see, Black love is a beautiful thing. When the Most High ordains a melanated man and a melanated woman, right? When he ordains a melanated man and a melanated woman in that marriage, Black love is a beautiful thing. Especially when the Most High is involved in the marriage and everybody else is out of the marriage. Nobody else is involved in the marriage. Man, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Don't think for a moment it's not. Because it is. It's a beautiful thing. Especially when you have children and you thing. It's a marvelous thing. Truly. But again, because of everything that's going on, everything that continues to ensue, what can you do? And you've also have heard me tell you once before also, when I wasn't talking mucho macho trash and I was not using socially unacceptable terminology, better known as profanity and obscene language. The reason why that all of us are in the condition that we're in spiritually, socially, politically, physically, economically, everything else and in between is because we refuse to repent and turn around and to be the kind of people that the Most High wants us to be. Because we have been trying to be everything else except to be the people the Most High wants us to be. And the fact is, melanated people, all the rest of these nationalities, they come from us. The rest of these nationalities, they are grafted from us. And there is a certain nationality that knows for a fact that they are dying out in droves. They're not going to ever report it on the mainstream news, the mainstream media. It will never be reported. Why do you think in a certain state, I believe it's Georgia, abortion is illegal? Abortions are illegal. It's not about so much doing the right thing. It's a matter of survival. Because a certain nationality is dying out. And within the next 15 or 20 years, they are going to be the new minority, according to science. and they're using your black ass as a means to survive. Love ain't got nothing to do with the relationship, because they see you, and they've always seen you as a fetish. Whether you got a big penis or whether you got good vagina, they see you as a sexual fetish, and they are trying to extend their bloodline and to extend their mortality on earth, because they know they are on borrowed time. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tickety, 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 tick tock. The jig is up for them, and they know this. Black love is not completely dead, but it's certainly on life support here in the West. And you've also have heard me tell you also, especially to the passport bros and the MGTOWs, but especially the passport bros. I said, listen, I understand exactly where y'all are coming from. I feel you. Because a lot of these American contemporary women ain't worth a damn. They're not. They are not worth ish. But at the same time, you got to understand something, that dysfunctionality is universal, bruh. You are not going to ever get away totally from dysfunctionality. And then let me address this too. Truth be told, some of the passport bros, from the pictures I've seen of their significant others, I ain't impressed. They look just as average and as basic as some of these American chicks do. But it all proves my point. Everybody, for the most part, is the same. Women are all the same, just in different degrees. And I'm also coming to the realization also that men are all the same, just in different degrees. You just have to pinpoint and decipher and determine who is who and who is not. Am I wrong? I understand why you want to go. Am I wrong? Let me tell you something. The reality is simply this. Men and women are all the same, just in different degrees, with some exceptions. There are some exceptions. The exceptions is they are able to see beyond the veil. They're able to see beyond the veil, the smoke screen, the whole shebang. And I'm going to throw this out here too, and then I'm going to observe your comments. I'm going to highlight them. You can get mad at me all you want, but we got to address this whole thing. And before we can resurrect black love, if you all respectfully disagree with me and say that black love isn't dead, okay, fine. Okay, no problem. If black love is dead, let's say it is completely dead, it's gone. How can we bring it back? How can it be resuscitated and resurrected? I'll tell you how. Let's go back to basics. First, let's go back to the basics in terms of spirituality, meeting the salvific needs of both the man and the woman, number one. Number two, we also have to address the fact, again, that there are some undiagnosed mental illness, mental disorders, emotional disorders, dare say even mental illness, mental diseases, pardon me, as well as STIs. See, STIs is a physical disease when you interact sexually with multiple people and you don't clean yourself, or they are not clean, or you're not clean. But STIs is a direct result of mental illness amongst the man and the woman. But everybody refuses to address the pink elephant in the room. STIs and STDs is a result of mental illness. If the psychological apparatus and the psychological hygiene of a man or a woman is not healthy, guess what? It stems from their ecology, their environment, and is also genetic. Yeah, it's genetic also. Don't you dare think for a moment that genes and your environment or your ecology ain't got ish to do with nothing. Oh, it's got plenty to do with it. But let me digress for just a second. I want to go ahead and acknowledge all of your observations. I know there's quite a few of them. On the Facebook side, Brother Barron says there's no boundaries in those households. None. And it all stems back from mental illness. That's from the scientific side. It's from the scientific side. Okay. But spiritually, who says that everybody truly belongs to the Most High? That in itself is a different subject. Let me go down the line and highlight your observations. On the YouTube side, Brother Sam says depends on the borderline maturity. Brother Barron says many black men go after women of the moment instead of their future goals. Long-term thinking, deductive reasoning, and situational awareness. You're spot on. Brother Sam says they get upset about it. Yeah, they get upset about correction. Everybody wants to be a drum major. Everybody wants to be a chief. Everybody wants to be a leader. And they think that they are above correction. Lady Marla says that's so true. Brother Barron says, I remember those times. Brother Sam continued. He said, the Bible speaks volumes. It certainly does. It certainly does. Yeah, I had to teach. I had to teach, my dear. I had to teach a little bit. Yeah, but, and see, that's the thing. People don't like the truth. See, when people speak the truth, as long as it is about something or somebody else, it's all right. But when you start speaking the truth about them, then they want to raise $1 billion worth of hell. All of a sudden, you now are an a-hole. You now are a villain. Yeah. And everybody don't want to be bothered with you. Nadia says they get mad and then don't want correction of the lies they have been taught by their uneducated mothers. Yeah. Yeah. But again, and see, the truth isn't for everybody. I'm becoming more and more convinced. The truth isn't for everybody. If the truth was for everybody, we wouldn't be having this discussion at all. We would be talking about something totally different. But unfortunately, I have to talk about and address things people don't want to talk about. But yet I'm the one, and others like me, other like-minded men and women, when we point out and pinpoint the truth, then all of a sudden, he's a villain or she's a villain. Please. Brother Sam says they refuse to accept accountability of the corruption by selfless love. That's mental illness. That is mental illness. It's mental illness, period. Brother Sam says, you see a lot of females at the Build-A-Bear store. When they should be at a psychiatrist or in front of the church and learning to stop being a procrastinator, among other things. Nadia says, and are attacking each other's orals. Once again, it's mental illness. I keep arguing that if your psychological hygiene, your apparatus, if that's all screwed up, you are not going to be able to function the way you should and be as productive as you should. Lady Marla says, just like when children are in class, I must be hungry again. Just like when children are in class and they can't read or do the assignment, so do adults use attitudes and want to fight or just run away, just like little boys and girls. That is called being dysgenically breeded, I should say. And they are the byproducts of not only dysgenic breeding, but the byproducts of their environment. And they are grown little boys and they are grown little girls. Y'all are spot on. Yeah. Y'all are spot on. Y'all are spot on. Y'all are spot on. It is 39 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And what we are getting ready to do is take a brief intermission. We're getting ready to take a brief break, a brief intermission. I'm going to put on some music so y'all can enjoy it. And see, people love foolishness. People love foolishness. People love shenanigans. People love BS. They really do. So after this brief intermission, I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrap things up. And so you all can enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, what's left of it, because we all got to go back to work tomorrow and go back to school and all that good stuff. I'm your man, Yosef X. This is my 2 cents. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a few moments. All right, y'all. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are getting ready now to. We're getting ready to wrap things up. I'm glad y'all are liking the tunes. Yeah, I'm glad you all are enjoying the tunes. I try. Excuse me. I try to give y'all food for thought. And I also try to give y'all a little music to go along with the with this education that try to give y'all, man. Glad y'all enjoy it. Oh, y'all were dancing? Okay. Listen, I'm glad y'all, like I said, I'm glad y'all were enjoying the music. I'm glad y'all were dancing. I'm glad y'all were having a good time. You know, I try to give y'all education. I try to be, comical with it a little bit, but I also try to make it colorful. You know what I mean? I try my best not to be dull and boring and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad y'all like the tunes. Hopefully I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna keep up the tunes and and we'll go from there. All right. I'm getting ready to wrap things up now. And before we wrap things up for the night, I once again want to give a shout out to all of you for your participation. I do appreciate it. And I also want to give another shout out to all of you for not only your viewership and your followership, but I also want to give another shout out and another thank you to all of you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, the Yosef Isaiah Benjamin Network. That in itself is a wonderful endeavor, knowing that I got quite a few subscribers, and I'm going to continue to do everything that I can. And again, I want to thank Lady Marla for these dope flyers and announcements. She is quite skilled at doing this, and for everybody that has made Yosef's 2 cents what it is, the growth and the maturity and the continued progression and continued maturity of myself as well as this entire podcast. I thank y'all very much, and I do appreciate it, and I want to thank all of you for rocking with me since day one. I want to say thank you very, very much. As I get ready to give my final 2 cents, I want to say this. Here's the truth. I raised the question, is Black love dead? It certainly is not where it was, and it certainly is not where it used to be. It is certainly unfortunate. Let me highlight your observations. It certainly is not where it should be. And it's sad. And the reason why it's sad is because a lot of men, as well as women, because I'm not going to blame one side without blaming the other, because collectively we have allowed false narratives to be our guiding force and our moral compass. I also think that it's a huge mistake for any man or any woman to categorize or put every single man or every single woman in the same category. That's why I try my best to be very careful, and I try to be very meticulous in my choice of terminology and phraseology. Because I know for a fact that not everybody is like the narrative that they're pushing. Of course not. And I also know for a fact that Black love is not completely dead. It's not completely dead. I will say, however, especially here in the United States, yeah, it's on life support. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me fix this right quick. It's on life support, but it's not completely dead. And let's face it, those melanated men that's in interracial marriages and relationships, I really have to ask the question. I really got to ask. Are y'all really happy in these marriages and relationships? Are you really happy? Or are you in these marriages and relationships because you're just settling? You're in these interracial relationships and marriages for the wealth, the money, and you just settle for the first thing that came along. Men are romantics. Females are about business and resources. Black love isn't dead. You still have quite a few melanated marriages Now, is it difficult to find real love? Of course it is. I'm not saying that it's not. Of course it's hard. Of course it is. There are still some good melanated men in the world. And there's still some good melanated women in the world left. But if you want to really save melanated love or black love, this is what you do. I'm going to say this and I'm out of here. What you have to do is spiritually speaking, this is what you have to do. Spiritually speaking, you have to reconcile with the Most High. Because a lot of y'all are angry with the Most High and you hate him. You heard me. You're angry with him and you hate him. And you've been judging him based on your circumstances and not judging him and operating off of what his word says as well as promise. That's first thing. The second thing is you've got to reconcile with yourself, because there's a lot of you that hate yourselves. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. A lot of y'all hate yourselves, bruh. Oh, and ladies, let me share this with y'all about these wigs, these blonde wigs. First off, as you know, these wigs, they come from other human beings. They actually come from the poor women of India. Yeah. They come from the poor women of India that live in subhuman poverty. And then what they do is, because a lot of them, they have to go through the process of cleaning that hair and washing it, because a lot of those women, because of their subhuman condition and their subhuman poverty, they have lice, they have fleas, and they have ticks in their hair. So they got to wash it, they got to shampoo it, they got to disinfect it, and they got to clean it before it will be prepared for you, the consumer, to purchase it. Here's more. These blonde wigs, that's human hair, yeah. But the blonde wigs, the blonde is actually dye. Yeah. Yeah. The blonde wigs that you have is human hair, but the blonde color is dye. And it comes from the scalps of the poor women who are living in subhuman poverty in India. Yeah. So instead of you going around here looking like somebody that hates you, you need to learn how to embrace self. Because a lot of us collectively, we still look at things and look at people, and we have adapted the Europeanized or colonialized definition of what beauty is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, a lot of y'all didn't know this, but you know now. So when you reconcile with the Most High and you reconcile with yourself, you also have to get with like-minded people and get away from those that will never understand and will never accept the totality of the reality in which they themselves live in. I mean, think about it. And then fact of the matter is this also. For those of you that already want a finished product, you already want a man that got his ish together, yet you don't have your ish together, you better sit your crackpot, cuckoo, crazy ass down somewhere. And then for the life of me, you dudes, y'all are talking about you want a virgin. Let me tell you something, bro. The woman that gets with you, she's going to get something used. And then y'all women that's been sexually active for a long time, and if you do get married, you're going to call yourself going to be wearing a white gown. Please stop the bull. Stop the bull. Because let me tell you something. When you wear a white gown, that means you are a virgin. And a whole lot of y'all ain't no damn virgins. At best, y'all are soiled doves. Y'all are soiled doves. It's better for you to wear a cream colored wedding gown or wedding dress instead of Snow White, because y'all ain't no damn Snow White. Y'all ain't Snow White. You ain't Snow White. You're a soiled dove. Y'all putting all these ridiculous ass, unrealistic expectations on one another. That's another reason why y'all are single right now. Then you think you're so damn smart. Please. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the smartest in the world. I'm not saying that I'm the sharpest knife in the drawer. But me, I'm far from the dullest. I'm far from being the dullest knife in the drawer. Y'all are soiled doves with unrealistic expectations that you have for one another. And for y'all to say that you want a virgin, listen, good luck trying to find a virgin. Good luck. Good luck trying to find a virgin in this socio-political climate, in this social climate, in this cesspool of urine and feces and fecal matter. All the best to you in your search. Because I honestly doubt that you will find a virgin. And I seriously doubt that you'll find a man that has everything together. Because I'm going to tell you something. None of us got all of our ish together. We still working on ourselves. We are still working on ourselves. A man and a woman will never stop working to develop, becoming the best version of themselves for themselves. It will never happen. As long as you living on this earth, as long as you live in this realm, this physical realm, you will always will continue to work on yourself. You will always continue to be the best versions of yourselves, for the glory of the Almighty Supreme Being. I rest my case. Well, y'all, it's been a ball, but the clock on the wall says that's all for now. Shout out to each and every one of y'all for listening, for your participation, for your observations. Join me next time for another subject that affects us directly and indirectly. I'm your man, Yosef X. That's been my 2 cents. I will catch y'all on the flip side. Almighty Yahuwah willing, I'll catch y'all next week. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good work week. Enjoy your week at school. Be safe. Stay strong. Keep the faith. Peace. I'm out.